Go for
I
it.
want you guys to think in the future when you're out of college, you have kids, and they want to start playing sports, or you're in the workplace and your job requires you to put your body in an uncomfortable position for an extended amount of time, and you're wondering what do these two things have in common, and it's because both of them, you and your child, could be susceptible to an overuse injury. Now, what is an overuse injury? Well, there's an orthopedic clinic called the Mayo Clinic, and they define it as any type of muscle or joint injury, such as tendonitis or stress fracture, that's caused by repetitive trauma. And athletes are especially open to an overuse injury because they could play multiple sports. Like in high school, I played football, basketball, and baseball. And football and basketball have very similar trauma on or they produce trauma on your legs. Like in football, you're running, you're jumping, you're constantly getting hit and putting pressure on your legs, and then you go into basketball season, which is right after, and you're doing the same kind of movements, jumping, running, and you could get a stress fracture. Or in baseball and kind of football, for like a quarterback or a pitcher, throwing above your head is not natural for your arm, and so there's been an increase in Tommy John, which is the UCL ligament in your elbow, and they've increased it by 57% between ages of 14 and 19. And this is because athletes are constantly pushing their body to their limits, even though they don't really know their limits yet. And I could use any sport, but I'm going to use baseball since I've played baseball pretty much my whole entire life. And in a given weekend tournament, an athlete could play several games. For example, in baseball tournament, the team has to start out playing pool games to determine where they will seed in the tournament. These games usually happen on the Friday or Saturday of the weekend, and the championship games follow on Sunday. And so one player could pitch an entire game, throw close to 100 pitches, and then an hour and a half later go and play a position and still be throwing, and their ligaments are still not done growing yet. And so they open up their chances to tearing a ligament or getting tendonitis. In the workplace, if you're like an electrician, and you have to constantly have your hands over your head, you're also putting strain on your upper back and your lower back as well as your shoulder, and could also get injured by that. Who's at risk for an overuse injury? Obviously athletes, and like even sitting at a desk on a computer, if you have poor posture, you're constantly putting your back in a position that's not comfortable in, causing you to get back injuries. Overtraining. A lot of college athletes lift 3 to 4 times a week, and if you are not taught the proper form, so deadlift, if you're lifting with your back instead of your legs, then your back is lifting way more weight than it's supposed to, and you can open yourself up to back injuries. How to prevent it? Just common sense, basically. Like if you are not feeling comfortable and your body is not feeling great, don't push yourself to a point that it's not gonna bounce back from, because you'd rather be out for one game than possibly injure yourself and cost your whole career or the whole season. Coaches kind of make this risk greater because they have like a star athlete that they can't risk not playing, and so they have to put them in, and so they'll kind of guilt trip you into playing if you tell them you don't feel great. So it's a really easy solution, but it seems that the number of athletes and people in the workforce who get injured is rising pretty drastically. While active use is highly beneficial to athletes and people around the world, too much of something can actually cause harm. With the help of coaches, trainers, and parents, the rising rate of injured athletes could drop dramatically with the implementing of a few things, such as proper lifting form or caring for the athlete instead of forcing them into a situation that could lead to a severe injury and put them out of their position for the rest of their life. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay,